You're born in 1972 in Marseille, in a cramped apartment above a supermarket. Your parents are Algerian immigrants from the Kabylie region. Your father, Smail Zidane, works nights as a warehouse guard. Your mother, Malika, takes care of 5 kids and keeps the whole family from collapsing through pure willpower and couscous. The neighborhood's called La Castellane, part football pitch, part survival course. You dribble past more trash cans than defenders. You learn to dodge insults in 2 languages, French and racist. You spend hours playing on concrete because grass is for rich kids and national teams. At 10, a local coach spots you and says, "That kid's got vision." Your father says, "Great, maybe he'll find a real job with it." You join a training center that has more rules than your apartment has furniture. By 17, you go pro with AS Cannes, the smallest club that's ever held a miracle in its roster. You move into a boarding house with curfews and cheap pasta. You score goals, smile politely, and quietly realize talent can pay rent. Then Bordeaux signs you. You get better haircuts, slightly worse teammates, and a passport that suddenly matters. People notice your calm, that strange, quiet intensity, like a bomb that prefers chess. In 1996, Juventus calls. You swap the grid of Marseille for the espresso and trophies of Turin. You win everything Italy can invent. Your touch becomes a national treasure. 2 years later, France hosts the World Cup. You're 26, rich, shy, and carrying a country that still argues about immigrants. You score 2 headers in the final. France wins. The Eiffel Tower lights up like it's worshiping your forehead. The nation that once called your parents foreigners now calls you savior. You win the Ballon d'Or. Then Real Madrid buys you for a record fee in 2001. You join a team so glamorous it needs sunglasses at training. Figo, Ronaldo, Beckham, all-star egos orbiting your serenity. You score that volley in the Champions League final? Commentators lose religion mid-sentence. And thanks to you, Real Madrid won the Champions League. You become a saint of simplicity. No tattoos, no scandals. Then, 2006, your last World Cup. You're 34, captain, and 1 match away from immortality. France versus Italy. You score early with a penalty, so casual it feels like a dare. Then, in extra time, Marco Materazzi opens his mouth, and everything you've learned about Zen evaporates. You don't punch. You don't argue. You just headbutt. Right in the chest. Red card. Your last act in football is assault, and somehow, it's beautiful. You walk past the World Cup trophy without looking at it, like it's an ex you're too proud to text. France loses. The internet gains a religion. Statues are built. Half the world calls you crazy. The other half calls you hero. You retire with grace and a criminal record of elegance. Then you start coaching. Quietly. You win 3 Champions Leagues in a row with Real Madrid. Something no one's ever done before. You don't scream. You don't dance. You just blink, nod, and win again. You turn stoicism into a tactic. When reporters ask your secret, you say, "Listen to the ball." Years later, you walk away from coaching. No scandal, no drama, just silence. You live peacefully, family, vineyards, the occasional football whisper. But the world still remembers that headbutt like a national holiday. Because nothing sucks more than being Zidane, the man who made football look holy, then proved even saints can lose their temper.